Hi, it's your girl P.Nicole from Etc. Podcast. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your mobile phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Google, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And to top it off, it's totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. We're all waiting to hear what you have to say. Tell them P.Nicole sent you.
I spark minds that shine their truth, provoking thought like Pac in the booth. I am woman, I am goddess, I am queen, raising frequencies of high self-esteem, self-love, self-worth, self-respect. My king I protect like in the game of chess. Yes, you tuned in to higher vibrations, etc. It's like a cosmic radio station. Tune in with intuition, no topic off limits, my intention. You leave healed and whole. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, P.Nicole.
Welcome to another episode of Etc. Podcast. It's your girl P.Nicole. I hope this recording finds you happy and healthy. Well, we made it through another week. Pat yourselves on the back for that. And I hope your week was inspiring and productive. So we're going to jump right in. I was meditating on what I wanted to speak about this week. And a lot of things I've been noticing online. And to be honest, social media and online and internet has taken the world by storm, has created a wave, some of it good, some of it not good, but nevertheless, I've been noticing trauma. Trauma has been on my mind, and when I say trauma, I mean trauma that we hold in as human beings. Everyone walking this earth has dealt with some type of trauma, and that is the topic today. Do not let trauma take you down. What is the definition of trauma? A deeply distressing or disturbing experience. A deeply distressing or disturbing experience. I personally feel the definition for me is anything that disturbs your inner peace. Anything that rattles or shakes your inner peace. Anything that uproots your foundation would be considered trauma, in my personal opinion. We walk around our lives as if things are all good now that we're older. But I'm noticing, including myself, we have not dealt with trauma. We have not dealt with trauma from our past. We have not dealt with trauma from our childhood. If you want to know deeper what I mean, here we go. Here's an example. You may not have dealt with watching your mom or dad deal with substance abuse. You might not have dealt with watching your mom or dad deal with alcoholism. Not being the best mother or dad for you. You may not have dealt with the uncle who would come around. The weird uncle, the scary uncle. The uncle that would touch little boys, little girls. You may not have dealt with that as you navigated through your life. You may have suppressed it. You may have told yourself it's normal. You may have told yourself everybody deals with it. Trauma. You may not have dealt with how you used to get beatings growing up. You may not have dealt with the abandonment issues that you carry. You may not have dealt with the heartbreaking issues that you carry. And you've traveled throughout your life and carried this over to adulthood. And it has affected you in ways you have no idea. And everything I'm speaking of today, I'm still learning too. I'm going to be a forever student of life. But trauma really stands out to me. I believe our world is in a place where trauma is being exposed. Trauma is being uprooted. Trauma is being revisited because we never dealt with it. And this is not to bash anybody's upbringing. We all know people do the best they can with what they got. Nobody comes with a handbook of instructions and directions. A lot of things is figuring it out on your own, trial and error. But it does not negate the fact that it affects you. It affects the type of person you are today. How are you in your relationships? Have you thought about it? Have you taken a deep look into it? Why are you on the defense all the time? Why are you quick to blame? Why are you quick to point? Why are you not quick to look within versus saying what somebody else can do better? Have you thought about what you can do better? Trauma. Why are you quick to not trust? Why are you quick to say, oh, that'll never happen for me? Have you ever asked yourself why? Why do I think like that? Where did I get it from? Where does it stem from? Trauma. You become an adult and you realize and you meet other people and you talk to people and you build friendships and relationships. And you realize that, okay, everybody wasn't raised like I was raised. What I thought was normal in my household isn't normal to their household or vice versa. We're all in this game of life trying to figure it out as we go. Nobody's perfect. We're all flawed. We all have trauma. I challenge you to look deep into your trauma. Look deep to see where it stemmed from. How did it affect you? How did it hurt you? And now if you're grown, how can you learn from it? Because understand, it wasn't your choice as a child when you dealt with certain trauma. Some things was above you, way above you. You had no control over it. However, it still affects you. And if we don't deal with it, it carries over into adulthood. It affects our adulthood. It affects the type of adult we'll be, the type of mother, type of wife, type of friend, type of father, type of husband you'll be, type of coworker, type of confidant. It affects your whole life, whether you realize it or not. I'm challenging you to deal with your trauma. How to deal with it? Counseling, perhaps. Journaling. I really believe writing is therapeutic. It's therapy for me. Write out your thoughts. Write out your feelings. Write out how you feel about how you grew up. Trauma. Because we're in a state right now where it's all festering up. And it's like a boiling pot, ready to just overflow and burn anything or anybody in its way if we don't deal with it correctly. Trauma. Be mindful of your trauma. Attack your trauma head on. Deal with it. Grow from it. Learn from it. So you don't repeat it. And so you don't pass it on to whoever comes after you. There is a generation looking up to you. Now, if you felt the way you felt, would you want them to feel that same way? Would you want them to be dealing with the trauma you dealt with growing up? You didn't like it. You didn't like how it felt. So what makes you think they will? Trauma. When you're a little girl or little boy, you don't always have the authority or control to speak up and speak your feelings and put it out there. You may feel scared. You may feel unsafe. You may feel nobody's here to listen to me. But when you're adult, you do have that free will and you do have that control. So deal with your trauma head on. Please heal from your trauma, so we do not repeat cycles, and so we do not pass down bullshit. You heard me correctly. Bullshit. Trauma. I want you guys to really think about trauma, because I know we all got a story. All of us. Let's heal from our trauma. Let's grow from our trauma. Let's deal with our trauma, so it's not repeated, passed down, or regurgitated to the next generation. Trauma. That's all for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this message. It came from the heart. Once again, I'm your girl, P.Nicole. This is an episode of Etc. Podcast. My goal is always to encourage and to evolve. That's what I want for all of us. I want all of us to stay encouraged, and I want all of us to evolve into the great beings we were meant to be. I'll see you guys later. Peace.